and welcome to ET Auto and to another episode of Technology Talks, where the guest is Continental's global CTO, Gilles Mabire. Gilles, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Happy to exchange with you.
And kind of in tune with the times, if I can say that, this time I've opted for a makeshift studio in my car. So this perhaps may not be a fictional scenario, let's say, in the mid to long time future where while the car is on the move, I can do an interview like this. Do you see that happening in the mid to long term, Gilles?
An engineer, I do believe that we are going step by step to make the car autonomous, to change also the perspective of mobility for people into the car, which may be in the past a driver, and which will allow different way of living and doing things into the car when the car will move from level 2 to level 3 and then level 4. And I do see that trend, which still takes some time, but we step by step will come, I'm sure. But beside the trend and the transformation, of course, we need to change the life into the car and give a new solutions, new user experience. I have to say uniqueness of new user experience into the car environment. And let me connect to the CES, where we as Continental have shown many things in that field. First, autonomous driving, where we have presented trucks and solution for car, to step by step go to that level I was mentioning before, and into the car with invisible display, pillar to pillar, with also some elegant display that we develop commonly with Swarovski to have a transparent display. We want to show that there is another way to seeing the car itself, to see the user experience while being in a mobility situation. And mobility situation does not mean always to drive with the hands on the wheel and the eyes on the road, but having the opportunity to do by far more things, location-based services, content, and everything.
Right, because as it is also said, the car is a third living space, home and office being the other two. Of course, user experience will be very key, and that will be also a differentiator of sorts for many brands, for the automotive industry players. But staying with the mega trend of autonomous mobility, Gilles, how long a timeline do you expect? Expect, let's say, L4 or L5 to become a reality? There are, in some scenarios, L3 is already being kind of, how do I say, put on the roads in restricted conditions, of course. But L4, L5, do you see it as a possibility still in the, let's say, in the 5 to 10 year horizon?
But we are already, and I'm now talking about a specific use case. You may say it's not general purposes, that's right, but for a trucking industry, especially in the US, we are developing currently concrete application, concrete projects, where basically we will go to a level 4 solution on the public road to drive autonomously a big machine, a big truck, transporting goods. And that's a partnership we do with Aurora, especially in the US. That means technically it's feasible, and we are very convinced that we are able to match this timeline, which is in 2028. Second topic, it was also my observation during the CES, and we are in a leading position addressing the AI, generative AI, as a game changer to fast improve, train, and put some extremely reliable and safe solution on the market when it's come to autonomous driving. It's a real game changer because you can really envision and test use cases which were not possible in the past. A way to overcome the technical challenges of autonomous mobility is the ability to cover by far more use cases and being sure that the system you will put on the market will be reliable and safe enough. And I do see huge progress coming, and we as a tier 1 are adopting all of these methods and solutions to fast improve and push the solution on the market. Last but not least, we still need to some position to come to affordable solution that, of course, make the solution not only technically appealing, but also commercially. And there is still here some action, some improvement, some generation of product to be done. Just as an example, we have put and presented in the CS our latest radar generation, which will be what we call the 4D radar, which is a very cost-optimized solution, very good technical solution as well. We are, I think, in the leading position in that market, just to prove that these components are contributor and will enable our customer to accelerate the transformation to autonomous mobility.
All right. And this autonomous mobility, by the way, when you put those trucks with your autonomous driving technology on the roads in 2020, would it make Continental the first player?
2028.
Would it make you the first in the industry to apply those technology on the roads, on public roads?
I think we will be one of the first putting operationally an industrial solution that will operate on a daily basis on public roads. Yes.
Okay. All right. And also there's another viewpoint that generally, I mean, in the passenger vehicle industry I'm talking about, the autonomous megatrend has kind of moved slower than expected, which has also hampered the plans of some, perhaps potentially hampered the plans of some industry players, including some tier ones. Do you agree to that viewpoint that perhaps it's maybe something like connected vehicle technology is moving much faster than expected, but autonomous driving is kind of, for whatever reasons, maybe a relook, or maybe things are not progressing as expected?
I think on the technical side, we all knew that to cover the complex use cases, the corner cases, and mature the solution is going to take time. But we had seen in communications very optimistic talks where everyone expected things to be solved in a couple of years. And as a tier one, I have to say we are not, and I'm not surprised that it takes time, because to move from a level 2 or level 2++, which is a progressive path, to a radical change, it would be very costly if done in a very quick way. And second topic, no one, at least from the entire industry, feels good by putting something on the market which is not tested and released. It's a matter of identity, it's a market of reputation, and we are not willing to do shortcut if they do not create a safe solution. Therefore, it's a matter of compromise, and I think technically we have the building blocks and the good things with the general safety regulation evolution. We put step by step the component that will contribute to a full autonomous driving solution step by step, and we learn from that. We capture data, and we step by step improve our solution. Therefore, I'm not desperate. Yes, it takes time, but technically, I would say it was foreseen that it will take time anyhow.
Right, as you rightly said, I mean, it will pay to take very measured and calculated steps rather than perhaps move at a pace and do things which can potentially impact or affect the reputation of not only one of the players involved, but perhaps the entire industry as well.
Yes, exactly.
And moving on, you were discussing about user experience. Tell us on that front, what are the next trends that you see maybe somewhere around the corner before they hit the market?
Yeah, when we speak about user experience, people think displays and in-car technologies, but I would like to start from the outside perspective, just by approaching your car. And we see, and we have presented, for example, device-less technology, where with face recognition, the car recognizes you and is able to unlock the car, open the door, and allow you to start your car. Beyond that, we also think that using face recognition with a very sophisticated algorithm, we can also use that to buy something, means to make financial money exchange and do, let's say, purchase into your car using extremely secure technologies. In the side of that, when we look at the entire space of the car, curved display, wide display, or shy technology, where you can make display and solution appearing in a different, extremely large freedom in terms of design for our car makers, are things we see as game changer to change the perception of people when entering into the car, and more having a living space than a technical object to be driven. Last but not least, and that was also for us interesting element, which also made a lot of success, and especially we got a CES Innovation Prize of the CES, which is transparent display, and we did it on purpose with Swarovski, a brand which is not an automotive brand, but known for the quality and the high value of their crystal. And basically, we have incorporated into Swarovski crystal a very transparent display based on newly technology called micro LED. And I can tell you, just standing in front of it, it's amazing the difference of perception you get, because you get a very transparent solution with very accurate contrast and quality. And space, living space as an automobile industry is also to serve the upper layer, the upper range of the car, and we expect this type of solutions to appear as well in the luxury brands. And we had many of our customers standing in front of that opportunity and already thinking from design how they can incorporate such a nice object into their car space. Therefore, it's a quality of elements into the car, contrast, transparency, and freedom as well to create a new experience for people.
Okay, that's good to know. By the way, this transparent display, I mean, is it? No, I mean, are you already in discussion with potential customers? And I mean, if yes, what is the kind of timeline for the introduction of this technology?
We wanted to create a kind of electroshock on the CES by explaining that we can do things completely different that a standard engineering thinking, and that is the goal was achieved because it created a lot of attention. I have to say, from many of our customers, we are not at the point that people have signed a contract, because when you really define your cockpit, you need to start bringing the different ingredients, so to say, in the early stage. But we have now more than a list of appointments where we will meet with our customers and to pave that road and to envision how to make it. From the technology standpoint, especially when it's come to a micro LED, we have already a clear way forward on how we want to industrialize a product. It's a matter of how to make it best in the context of each and every customers. But I do believe that in some years from now, you will see what I'm talking about. Probably in the car, you will see tomorrow.
Okay, that's good to know. By the way, talking about display, I mean, does it display? The screens are getting bigger and bigger. Now we are talking about pillar-to-pillar display. And I also recall you showcased one of your own solutions at the IAA Mobility in Munich last year. What is the next size in terms of the display and or the technology upgradation in that part of kind of display technology?
Yeah, but basically there's allowed to display. You cannot extend beyond the pillar to pillar.
Beyond the pillars, of course.
But we have captured good new orders from different customers in the core of the EI you mentioned before. Therefore, is for us now going into application project and industrialization. And this product, you will see them popping up in different cars in 3 to 4 years to come. That means it's on the way. It's engaged. We also have shown that we can also create a different user experience by having as well different technology where we use a mix between displays and head-up displays in a form that with a specific backlighting and treatment on the windshield, you can also create a different environment. The topic is for us not to drive our customer to one technology, but to open the, so to say, Pandora box, to show them how we can master different of technology with different backlightings, with different LED technologies, and to show them that there is not one fit all solution. The pillar to pillar is one trend we see clearly on the market, but we also need to look at different product segments, different market, and here as well, with the technology we have shown in Las Vegas, we have plenty of other opportunity to make the display flexible with standard LCD display with a specific and very complex backlighting, projecting on the windshield information, giving deepness and brightness in a high quality and a high resolution, and that are elements that differentiate as well the OEM from each other. I think we do not want each OEM to look the same. We want to provide them technology associated with their designers to create uniqueness, and every OEM has to be unique, has to envision his own way, and therefore we are only provider of solution. We are making their future possible with our technologies, not pushing them the one or the other, and therefore we open the palette of alternatives. The other topic which has been very interesting, sorry to interrupt you, are the so-called shy-tech or invisible display, where you can have surfaces which are from quality looking like wood or metals, and you can underneath highlights and having touch display where you can also create a different connection to the driver or people living into the car. Therefore, you can see that the palette is pretty large, and it's a matter of adaptation. It's a matter of understanding the needs, the message that an OEM in terms of design wants to provide, and be sure that with the elements we have, we can cover a lot of these demands, and we'll continue to help our customers finding their way with the right user experience into their own brands, into their own environment, into their own culture.
The largest size display that you have is how many inches now?
The one we have shown in the air, where I see, remember, were 37-inch, which was pretty broad, and we can also go to that size with different technologies now.
Okay, all right. And another thing about in-cabin user experience is also the other what seems to be at a very initial stage of what could be a big trend is in-car gaming. Do you see that becoming a significant trend also? If yes, no, how? Could you throw some light on that?
Yeah, we in-car gaming is an opportunity, and I met some good companies, especially coming out of India, who have a nice idea on how to incorporate gaming into the car. And I'm with you. If people are not having the eyes on the road, they probably want to do something different, and gaming is an opportunity. And we have presented in CES what we called UX assets, which are user experience solution into the car, which is purely software driven. Means, how can I offer user experience that the people can also tune to their needs at the point they are in a city, or depending on their mood, depending if they are with their family, if they are in business purposes. You can define everything the way you want, and the system will aggregate based on AI-based algorithm offer that will make your travel enjoyable. It can be historical information that you can get around or in the city you are in. It can be advertising some restaurants, or offering you some area where you can go with your kids, whatever. And it can be as well gaming opportunities. Just in the city of Las Vegas, we got some people very interested to see how they can offer gambling into the car just as a side element. Therefore, we see that there are plenty of opportunities. What we do based on software-defined vehicle principle is to make this possible and to explain on how to make it right for people. We do not want to come with a catalog of thousands of things. We want to cluster them. We want to offer the driver, the co-driver, the passenger, the opportunity to decide what they want to have, what they want to see, what they want to use. And at the end, we provide a technical mechanism to make it possible.
All right. And also, it is said that data, big data is the new oil, or user experience is the new horsepower. In the in the SDV era. Tell us what are the possibilities? Could you just share a couple of examples, which could potentially make it into the vehicles of tomorrow? Some ideas which perhaps may be too radical or even unimaginable today.
Basically, the very first example is to use a large language model to deal with your car and to find some information that for the time being, you need to follow a certain grammar kick if you want to get an information. The system is able to recognize if you speak to people inside the car and will not ask you anything, or if you want to reserve something or do something into your car, and based on AI and with a partnership we have settled with Google, for example, in what we call Cockpit HPC, we really can demonstrate complete different user experience. Sitting into your car, you could ask can you drive me please to the next restaurant and reserve a place for 2 or 3 people at 9? And everything will be organized, and we'll make sure that it will drive you at your appointment on time, that you will get your table reserved, and that probably in your calendar you will get the slot also fixed, that you can, and that is an end-to-end approach that we want to offer. Means not a couple of solutions that are sliced and you need always to move from one system to another, but a real end-to-end approach, which is based on standardization of the interface, but which is also powered by specific algorithm, here in that case, large language models that come from Google through our partnership, and also our capabilities to interact with the driver into the car, into automotive environment, just as an example.
So which means if it's a L4 or L5 vehicle, the vehicle will also drive to that destination while the restaurant, the table in the restaurant is already reserved.
That's, for example, one good thing. The second one I could name as well, when you arrive in your restaurant, probably you want to let your car and the car gets parked, that you do not have to take care about it. And we have as well some parking projects, autonomous parking projects, which are up and running with some different customers to allow this to happen. Therefore, when you arrive in the restaurant, you let your car and the car get parked alone.
Right. That's interesting. I mean, quite exciting, even with the thought of such a scenario. I cannot imagine how it will be when you actually experience it in the perhaps not so distant future. But tell me one thing: all these developments that again, Continental is also, like any of the major players in the industry, really putting a lot of efforts offering these solutions as concepts today, perhaps, and working for production version or concepts of tomorrow as well. How much is the role played by your India Technical Center? What can you share some examples of some anecdotes wherein some innovation from taking shape or taking birth in Bangalore has really helped you offer that wow factor to your offerings?
Yeah, Bangalore is probably one of our biggest or the biggest R&D location we have on the worldwide basis. Therefore, useless to say that it's one of our more strategic location. And perhaps one example speaks for more than a big speech. Bangalore is currently, at the time we speak, developing our first parking solution, autonomous parking solution, as I was mentioning before. Therefore, Bangalore is on the leading edge of our technologies. And if you look on user experience side, on autonomous driving / ADAS side, as well as on the safety and motion, and as I mentioned before, the parking as an example is proving the power of our engineers in India. And basically, we have in India about 9,000 people in engineering and as well manufacturing, 12 locations. And I can tell you, we will continue to grow in India and as well in Bangalore. That is given. And also very pleased that we step by step as well install people out of India in more global role, because we are in a global company. Therefore, it's a clear strategy for us to further develop in India for India, but also in India for the rest of the world as leading education on technologies.
Right. And good to know about this the development taking shape of parking autonomous parking solution. So is it already being tested maybe with some in some area in India or elsewhere, maybe in Germany?
Basically, I'm talking about projects which are engaged in applications with our customer. Therefore, yes, things will be tested. For the time being, we are in engineering phase. Therefore, it's not at the step we test on public roads, but we will go that way because we have to test on public roads, and that will happen. But for the time being, it's more in our labs that we work on this. Therefore, the development is up and running, and there will be start of production to final customer in a couple of years to come.
Okay, so you expect the SOP in maybe in 2 to 3 years time, or maybe earlier?
Yeah. I have not time the precise deadline in mind, but it's in the time frame. Yes.
Yeah, and in one of our earlier conversation, you had mentioned that 90% of the innovation in the automotive industry will happen in the software technologies. Now, what is the next innovation that you're working on?
If you compare from last year to this year in the CES, I think the software technology and the software-defined vehicle was clearly making a step ahead. Everyone is talking about it. And we came with a real car explaining what software-defined technology means for us, starting thinking the car from the software architecture standpoint first, and second, distribute the function in a way that you optimize the entire architecture. Third, it starts from the virtual, means we start developing virtual things, having a twin of the real car, having a twin of our component, having a twin of our system to ease and speed up the development. This being said, if you are a truly believer that software-defined vehicle is a game changer to get more flexibility into your architecture, being able to upgrade the car with new functions, you also can see some new use cases, and that is the one we demonstrate already this year, to offer function on demand. Means having, for example, bought a car, and later on, I want to get vehicle dynamics function, new ones that adapt my car to the environment and wise in the mountain or when I am in different places. I can do that by downloading or buying functions. Autonomous parking, same. If your car is equipped with radar and cameras, but you did not decide to purchase a function when buying the car, you can get it later. And that is moving software-defined vehicle to user-defined vehicle, and then tune your car to your needs. Every car may be similar, but every car will be different. And that is what we see. And we have proven some good examples, some use case that we really can let the end user define what he wants to get into his car and what's not.
Lastly, now you had also earlier mentioned about the scope of adding having one more technology development or engineering center in India. Have you taken a call on that yet, or?
We are exactly in the process of defining it right now. Therefore, stay tuned, and we will. But what I've said before, our commitment to further grow in India is there, and we will continue doing so. That has been decided, definitely. On the way to make it best, we are elaborating and showing what are the pros and cons. Therefore, the final decision is not taken, but further growing in India is given.
Okay. On that note, Gilles, I understand you have another meeting very shortly. So always a pleasure talking to you, and thank you, and hope to see you sometime soon in India.
Thank you, Sumantra, for your question. Happy to reconnect with you next time and to see you in India. Thank you very much.
And thank you, viewers, for watching this episode of Technology Talks. I hope you enjoyed it, enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed conducting this interview with Gilles Mabire, Global CTO of Continental. Till we meet again, take care and goodbye.